Hi, I'm Peter Meredith, and welcome to the Writer's Review. Today we delve into the Netflix original Yonfest, Away. Five nations pool their resources to send a manned mission to Mars. They go to Mars, I fight to stay awake. Who doesn't love a good space adventure? And I was hooked right away by the trailer with its rockets and spacewalks and the quick cuts that made it seem like the show was going to be filled with action and danger. That was the trailer. The actual show was filled with this.
Let's go get a picnic. We'll have a picnic, you bring the good bank and you...
Every single episode, it's... The show is 90% talking, 9% pensive looks, and 1% mild action of the G rating variety.
I'm Captain Snowball. I hear one of you needs my help.
Oh, that's me.
I'll start with the crew. First, there's Commander Bestis, some dude who looks similar to Hilary Swank. He's faced with a crew of stereotype... Hold on, that is Hilary Swank. Oh my. Either way, Commander Bestis is faced with a crew of stereotypes. We have the angry, misogynist Russian, the beautiful but cold Chinese lady, the calm, handsome Indian, and the rookie who screws up when he's not constantly fawning over Commander Bestis, that is. The rookie is not the only one who can't say enough about her. 6 times in the first episode, Commander Bestis is told that she's the best astronaut that's walked the stars. 6 times. She's called phenomenal twice, the first time in the first minute. Then, best person for the job. You're the best. No one more capable or committed.
You keep using the word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
At one point, she's described as superhuman. They build her up so much you're expecting her to be Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman.
In your satin tights, fighting for your rights.
No, not that Wonder Woman. Ooh, I wish it was that Wonder Woman.
What was I talking about again?
How about this Wonder Woman? Gah. No, this is the Wonder Woman they want her to be. Instead, we get... The writers want her to be the next Captain Kirk. Unfortunately, unlike Star Trek, there are no aliens or brave new worlds for them to explore. Instead, we get a slow trip into forced, low-impact adventures.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
We're sending help immediately, Mrs. Fletcher.
There's a screw loose on the solar panels. The water pump breaks. Then the pumps break again.
Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God.
Then a crew member gets space mono. Every episode has one of these so-called problems. In episode 1, there's the quote-unquote mystery about what happened on the way to the moon. We catch glimpses of a fire breaking out on the ship. Now, not a raging fire or anything like that. It's a small floating fire that they put out by popping a laundry bag over it. Ooh, scary.
Boring. Boring. You're boring, everybody.
It turns out that the mystery is all a setup so that we can see Commander Bestis was the only one to react. She saves a crew member before heading into harm's way to save the ship. Everyone else either lied about their part or did nothing. So that's the way it's going to be for the rest of the season. When there's an earth-shattering problem, she will be the one to fix it. Oh, there's one exception to this, and that's all the dull crap going on back at home. In episode 1, her husband back on Earth has a stroke. Will Emma say, screw the mission and the tens of billions of dollars put into it and go home? Or will she carry on as the strong and powerful, stunning and brave Commander Bestis? I was on the edge of my seat. Which way will she go? We cut to the hospital and hubby says, put the phone closer. Here's what I wanted him to say. If you leave me now, Emma, I'll kill myself. Is that what you want? But first, I'll post all those pictures on Facebook. You know the ones. The ones with the bad hair. The ones that make you look fat. Yeah, I'll do it. At least that would be different and unexpected. Instead, he says, go on. Go on to Mars. I know, right? Wow. Who saw that coming in episode 1 about a trip to Mars?
It's incredible. I think I'm going to have a heart attack and die from that surprise.
So episode 2, the big event, which is surrounded by a lot of talking.
Let's go get a picnic. We'll have a picnic, you bring the good bank and you...
The solar panels won't unfold. What are they going to do? If they can't get them fixed, they'll have to turn around. Who thinks that's going to happen? Luckily, it's Commander Bestis to the rescue. She and Ivan the Russian need to do a super dangerous spacewalk, which is made dangerous only because they don't have enough rope to reach the back of the ship. Huh? You guys didn't bring enough space rope? So did they go back for more? No. Why would they? The door is all of 20 feet away. Do they go around the panels? There's plenty of room. The ship is huge. Why, no they don't. Do they use technology that's been around since 1984? We've had the ability to go tetherless in space for 37 years. But do they have one of those little thruster suits?
How about no, you crazy Dutch bastard?
Commander Bestis will unhook and crawl around the solar panel. But if she slips, she'll die. Cue the music and the shortness of breath. They drag this out way too long because they have to get a shot of everyone showing how scared they are for Commander Bestis. I wish they had gotten a shot of me. There's no way she's going to slip. That would make the show actually interesting. And wouldn't you know it, she doesn't go flying out into space. She rehooks.
No way! But wait! There's more! Hang on to your seat, baby! Cause this one's a screamer!
The danger is not over. As she's fixing the panel, she slips and flies off into space all the way to the end of her rope at about 4 miles an hour, and then sort of sags there for a long, long time. You ever have a yo-yo and when it goes down, it sort of just goes down and just sits there? Well, that's this scene with all the excitement of that yo-yo. She just floats there long enough for everyone to say, "Emma!" in worried voices. I'm sitting here wondering, did she faint? Is that what happened? The impact of the fall is less than the average person experiences dropping onto their couch. Then Commander Bestis sort of wakes up and everyone breathes exaggerated sighs of relief.
Yeah.
What's the next emergency that's overblown to keep us glued to our seats? The Indian guy gets space mono.
Boring.
One moment he's good, the next he's so sick, he's delusional and tries to jump out of the airlock. Although they ruin this too, it's at least unexpected. The talking that goes along with it is not.
Let's go get a picnic. We'll have a picnic, you bring the good bank and you...
He's so sick, no one wants to get near him, and they stash him in a room. Then, in his delirium, he cuts his back, and OMG, he's bleeding out. They actually use those words. He's bleeding out. Only there's like a cup of blood. You don't bleed out over a cup of blood. He's sort of sweaty and there's a little blood. And for some reason, this sets the crew and everyone at NASA panicking. But luckily, Commander Bestis goes in to save him when no one else will. It's so overblown. Since they can't have an emergency in every episode, they decide to slow things down in episode 4.
It's been 84 years.
It's an entire episode dedicated to the Asian lady being a secret lesbian. Oh, and Commander Bestis' daughter has a C+ on a test. And that's about all that happens. No joke, that's it. For an adventure in space, there's a shocking lack of adventure. And Lou is the worst lesbian ever. She and her partner talk a lot. I mean, a lot. They also do karaoke and calligraphy. That's kind of hot. And they smile at each other.
Oh, behave. Yeah.
And that's it. It's not like I'm looking for some good old girl-on-girl action, but this was just dull. I mean, you tell me you're going to have lesbians, and this is what you give me? Ugh, don't tease me. Stardate, Episode 5.
Well, are we there yet?
No!
It's Christmas on Earth. Up on the USS Comatose, the astronauts put on a play for some of their grandkids. Some of them call home. They get sad. I get bored.
Boring. Boring.
And yes, that's about it. I'm starting to think I want my money back on this one. Seriously, at this point, I didn't know if I could keep on watching the show. I really didn't know if I had the endurance. I just got so sleepy, and they wouldn't stop talking.
Let's go get a picnic. We'll have a picnic, you bring the good bank and you...
In a race against time, calendar days count as time, right? They mostly fix the water pump. That's what happens in this one. The music mounts as they huddle around a little hunk of machinery, and everyone looks pensive. Yes, losing water would be bad. It would be a slow, dull ending to a slow, dull show, but we all know that won't happen halfway through the season. So it gets fixed, and I lose 50 minutes of my life. Episode 7.
Are we there yet?
Yes.
Really? No!
It doesn't get any better. Somehow I'm still watching. I deserve a medal. I keep hoping for something to happen, an alien attack.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. Send me a kiss, my wine. Baby, my heart's on fire. If you refuse me, honey, you lose me. Then you'll be left alone, oh baby.
Or maybe they get haunted by a space ghost. But something does happen. Commander Bestis is suddenly not the bestest. The crew is on strict water rations, so strict that they can't water the plants. All of them are dying, except for one little tiny plant. How is it still alive? It's a mystery. One scientist, an actual PhD, thinks God has provided a miracle with that plant. Another, a double doctorate, mind you.
I'm Ross Geller.
Dr. Ross Geller.
Dad, please. As I was saying, I'm Dr. Ross Geller.
Thinks that the plant adopted to zero water overnight. They decide to make a bet to see who's right. Of course, neither of them check to see if the soil around the plant is wet, which is generally how plants work, right? Water makes them grow, that kind of thing. Not only that, no one sees the painfully obvious. Commander Bestis is acting all weird and grouchy. Her voice is annoyingly scratchy. Is she sick? Is she dying? I kind of hope so. It's almost like she's severely dehydrated. Interesting. She's thirsty and the plant is not. Interesting note on this, by the way. Everyone panicked when the Indian got sick earlier, but with her, they're like, what a bitch. It turns out she's not a bitch, though. Yep, she cares so much about her crew and the mission that she's willing to stop drinking for that little plant. So she still is the bestest. Yippee. Episode 8. I'm pushing through.
Are we there yet?
No!
Today's drama has to do with the space freighter that preceded them with all their extra food and such. Will everything go according to plan? We all know it won't, because if it did, what would they have to talk about for 50 straight minutes?
Let's go get a picnic. We'll have a picnic. You bring the good bank and you...
Yes, I suppose there is a quote-unquote mystery whether the freighter landed safely. If it didn't, the plan is to return home. Sure it is. 8 episodes into a 10-episode season about going to Mars, and they're going to turn around now. We all know that's not going to happen. The problem here is the writing. When they make it an all-or-nothing situation every time, we stop believing it. Oh, and by the way, the freighter actually made it. What a shocker, right?
I want to show you something. It's my shocked face.
Episode 9. This is the worst episode yet, and that's saying a lot. The water pump breaks for good. Now the only water in the ship is the water shield that's in between the 2 holes. There's no way to get it from inside the ship unless they drill through the hole, but there's only an inch, so if they drill too far, that's it. Game over. So clearly they're going to drill too far. And yep, the guy with the drill acts like he's trying to break through the Earth's crust. He grinds that bitch in with all his might, and sure enough, he puts a hole in the ship. It's a tiny, tiny hole. And do they plug it up with something? No. These guys are the best and the brightest. They're all doctors. And they knew this was a possibility going in, but did they bring anything just in case there was a problem?
Silence!
Still, it's a small hole. They could stick a pen in it, or a cork, or... I should put a lesbian joke in here somewhere, probably. Nah, I wouldn't want to be accused of being immature.
Right.
What do we do about the tiny hole? Nothing. They just run away from the crew quarters, the only part of the ship with gravity, and they just give it up. It's so stupid. But it gets worse. They still have to get water, and so they develop an overly complicated, outrageously stupid plan to go out into space to get the water. Follow me here. They're going to use static electricity to guide the water, it's ice really, that comes spraying slowly from a valve. Because of the static electricity, the ice is going to sort of float around Commander Bestis, and then she's going to swish it over to the other guy who's about 15 feet away.
Too swishy?
And he's going to wave a bag around and try to catch it all. It's that dumb. It really is that dumb. I know I'm still waiting on the results of my GED, but I was thinking, why don't they just capture the water as it turns to ice at the source? One guy holds the bag, the other guy turns the valve on and off. They do it this way because what if something goes wrong? So they cue the exciting music, and then they have to turn it up even more because my wife won't stop yelling at the TV. That's so stupid! The last episode. This one has to be good. They're landing on Mars. There's no need to fake drama now. Out of the blue, the second in command professes his love for Commander Bestis. Yeah, the dude that looks just like Hilary Swank. Oh, wait, I keep forgetting that is Hilary Swank. So there's a lot of talk about that.
Let's go get a picnic. We'll have a picnic, you bring the good bank and you... Will you shut up?
Then, as punishment for being a secret lesbian, which no one knows about, the Chinese don't want their hand-picked astronaut to have her face seen when she becomes the first person to ever step foot on Mars. What?
No way!
No, I don't understand what the writers were thinking here. There's no way the Chinese would do this. There's no way any country would do this. They already have her face ready to go on a billion Wheaties boxes, and action dolls with the kung fu grip, and the blow-up dolls ready for export to Japan. They're not going to stop now. But I don't even care, because at this point I'm counting the minutes for this garbage to be over. But now comes the long wait until they land. They want us to be scared for the crew because they might crash. But who believes they will? It would be awesome if something did happen because this show is in desperate need of a cliffhanger. Cue the music and the frightened looks. Everyone, and I mean everyone, gets a second of airtime to look scared. There's the daughter, the husband, the janitor's cat.
It looks like grandma, the fucking thing! Hey, get the fuck out of here! Blink, motherfucker! Hey, no!
Then they touch down. They made it.
No way!
Everyone cheers, including me, because I'm thinking, I can go to bed now. But I can't because I still have to rate this drivel. It just can't compare to Apollo 13 or The Martian or even Gravity. These were actually good space movies that I would recommend. Away is not in their league. On a scale of 1 to 100, I rate this a solid 58. It sucked. Watch it only if you've watched everything else on TV, and even then, I'd suggest a book. Speaking of which, if you enjoyed this review, hit the subscribe button. And if you're a reader, you're in luck because I happen to have written an entire library of books just for you. Click on the links below to see my latest.